Thank you. Esther, before I start my question, I just want to say to the gentleman who's travelling in the left lane fast yesterday, in Australia we drive in the left lane real fast all the time. So somewhere to suit everyone. My question is about my long-term marriage, which I dissolved 14 years ago. And forgiven, I feel fine. I had beautiful things that have come from that relationship. But I keep having dreams about my ex-husband. And then I feel bad, and I just want to get away from that, bringing in the bad dreams.
Well, it's important to know. We talked about this before, that what you think and how you feel and what manifests always match. And the same is true of your dream state. What you're thinking and feeling and what manifests in your dream state always matches. And so if you feel bad in your dream, that means you've got that feeling going on apart from the dream. Maybe not about the same thing, but it is still a vibrational part of the nucleus of your point of attraction. You see what we were talking about?
Yeah.
And so most people think that when they dream all night long. It isn't true. When you come back into your conscious awareness, that's when you download and translate all of that. And so it gives you that sensation that it has been going on for a long time. And you pick up the characters and players and even the places and things from what's been in your more recent conscious memory. So 2 things are happening when you are having recurring dreams about a person. First and most important is that how you feel about that and other things is still active in your vibration. And the other thing is there have been recent thoughts about that particular person. That's why you're translating that dream into that particular person. But it does not mean that those 2 things need to be related. You could have left all of that behind before, but instead you're carrying it forward. And so it's just a matter of deliberately thinking other thoughts. It's like saying, I only listen to one radio station and they play this one song that I don't like or this one artist that I don't like all the time. All the time. They always play this same artist. I can't get away from this one artist. It just plays and plays and plays and plays and plays. And there are so many options. Choose another station. Turn the radio off. Purchase your own recordings and play them. There are so many other options. You don't have to just take the thoughts that are coming. You can be more defining in what you want. And so sometimes it's helpful to say, well, what is it about that? How did that dream make me feel? How does that dream make you feel? Or how did that experience make me feel? What's the emotion?
Torn and beaten down and broken.
Well, those are a lot of emotions. Which ones? Do you feel guilty?
No. I feel guilty to my younger self that I didn't look after her better.
That's psychobabble from
Oh.
a lot of places.
Well, I think I mourn that I don't have that long-term relationship, which I thought was what I would have from youth to older age.
It's time for a suck it up buttercup sticker.
Yeah.
Only in this sense. The feeling of regret is the most useless, pointless, ineffective emotion. And it doesn't mean that you're wrong in feeling it, but just acknowledging that feeling like that is not useful at all. Because what we're hearing from you and feeling from you is, this happened to me and therefore I feel like this. And because it happened to me, and I kept thinking about it happening to me, and I kept thinking about it happening to me, and even today I'm thinking about it happening to me, so much so that even though all of those circumstances are different and I'm not with that person anymore, I'm recreating it in my dream state. That's how much I'm bringing it forward. And so what we're suggesting is that you could fill that air time or that radio time, that listening time, you could fill it with some other conversations. And in time, that would fade away. It would give way to the more air time that you're giving to other things that feel better.
Okay, so I do change the channel regularly, self-talk, away from that negative, and then it turns up in the dream. And I think,
It's all right, because you change the channel and you convince yourself that you've done that, but you may have changed the channel in terms of the subject of the individual, but you haven't changed the channel in terms of the subject of the way you feel. And so your dream shows up to show that to you. This is an indication that you're not changing the subject as much as you think you might. So let's chew for just a little bit on that subject. So that subject feels like
Unworthy.
unworthy is a good term, kind of an all-inclusive term, and rather a vague term. See if you can find something more specific to the way you actually felt in that relationship.
Controlled.
Controlled. Now that's different. Controlled feels different than unworthy. Because control's just about being around a bully. Unworthy is about everyone on the planet and everything in the universe being against you.
Yeah, okay. Yep. Okay.
Quite a big difference.
That isn't what I feel. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you felt controlled by someone who was attempting to control you. We had that conversation earlier. There are those who believe that their happiness depends upon what you do, especially if you were up close to them. And so you felt controlled because guess what? You were.
Yes, I was.
But are you now?
No. A little bit at work, I would say. Yeah.
But any control that someone else thinks they have of you, you've sort of given it over to them, haven't you? You could go to work and you could say, I feel controlled because I have to be here. And if I'm not here, they'll be unpleased. And if they're unpleased, then there will be repercussions and they might tell me to leave or I might lose my income. So you could fan the flames of being controlled. Or you could say, I am at work and I choose to be here. It's my choice to be here. That there are these advantages to me and therefore this is something that I am choosing. And so I'm in control of my own experience. They're not controlling me because the fact is I could leave at any time. So who's really in control?
Yes, okay, yes.
Can you feel the difference in that?
I do feel the difference of that.
So
yeah.
These are the kind of conversations. Here's what's happening, and it's not just with you. It happens with a lot of people. When you're standing in a place that isn't as you want it to be, and you were talking about that, about you thought it would be a long-term thing, or you thought that you would be coupled with someone and live happily ever after, those things. And so when you are standing in a place that is different than the place that you believe that you would really like to stand in, there's a really strong propensity to try to go back and explain why you're not standing in a better place. And that's all that's going on here. You're trying to explain not being in a better place by that and that and that, or by predominantly that. And so you have to come to the conclusion that, hey, wait a minute. I create my own reality. I am the point of attraction. The way I feel is my point of attraction. What I think is what accomplishes the way I feel. I am the one that sets the tone. I'm the one that achieves the set point. Just talk to yourself in those strong but general terms for a little while. And this feeling of being controlled will dissipate because you're not controlled. Now, having said all of that, we want to add one little clarification, because law of attraction makes you feel like you're being controlled. This is an important nugget, because law of attraction feeds back to you what you're feeding out. So if you're feeding something out and not knowing it, not meaning to do it, and what comes back matches it, then it feels like it's being done to you, not that you're doing it to yourself. And that's why it's so important to begin noticing the correlation between what you're thinking and what's coming back. I thought that and this happened, and I thought that. In the beginning, as Esther started to get a handle on all of this, something wonderful would happen and she would say, I did that. And then something less wonderful would happen and she would say, I did that too. But it is so good to acknowledge I create my own experience. I am not a victim to anyone or anything. I am a product, a manifested product of the way I predominantly feel. So then it is so helpful to, every chance you get, notice how many things are really good for you. You are the reason for those things too, you see. And it doesn't take long before you tip the balance of that, before you're offering more thoughts about the things that do feel good to you and fewer thoughts about the things that don't or didn't feel good to you. And then you'll start getting ideas. You'll start having better timing and better rendezvous, and circumstances and events and relationships will begin turning out differently for you. And you'll have these points of clarity where you will actually be able to make the absolute association between the improvement in your thought and the improvement in the manifestations that come as a result of that thought. No one is ever going to feel in control of their own experience until you actually are. Because law of attraction is not going to help you fake it. Law of attraction is going to yield to you exactly how you feel. And so when you wake up from a clarifying dream, say, whew, boy, was that ever clarifying, and good information for me. I've got something going on that I didn't even realize I had going on. I'm sure I've been feeling it at subtle stages and haven't been noticing it, so I haven't been shifting. I haven't been correcting my driving when I've been feeling the rumble strip. And so I maintain that vibration long enough that it is manifested in a dream. Thank you. Thank you, law of attraction, for always being consistent and always giving me the feedback of what I've got going on. And thank me for being aware that I've got it going on. And thank me for being able to focus. And thank me for being a feeling individual. And thank me for knowing the difference between feeling good and not feeling good. And thank everyone who is a cooperative component in the game I'm playing with myself. Yeah.
Be more grateful. Or focus on that grace and appreciate it.
Appreciation of we're all in this together. Appreciation of the contrast, even the contrast you don't like. Appreciation of even the bad times which caused you to put better times in your vortex. And if you hadn't put better times in your vortex, you wouldn't be suffering over the better times not being lived by you, you see. Once it's in your vortex, you've got no happy choice other than to move in the direction of them. That's the reason that we're really encouraging letting the past be the past, because even though there are wonderful things in the past, we know it. Esther's gathering up little souvenirs, little touchstones all the time because she is kind of new to the idea of letting the past go. And we're not saying that there aren't touchstones that you want to keep bringing forward with you, but if you are really living the way you've intended to live, and you have your vibrational sight set on this vortex, and you are following the call of your inner being, your now is so full of wonderful things that you really don't have much airtime left for anything else. It's sort of like sitting through the most fantastical, delicious meal and spending the whole time talking about what you ate yesterday instead of just quietly contemplating the perfection of this moment in time. You see. Enough?
I'm contemplating the perfection of this.
Enough? Really good. Very good.